Hi guys, Kanika here. You're watching the K Factor by Kanika Kush. Today's topic is how do we minimize self doubt? My god. I think all of us are reeling under this issue, which is like, how to reduce self doubt. And, what I've noticed is that self doubt, typically, though reasons say it occurs basically, or one of them is when a blunder occurs in your life where you tend to, start to doubt yourself that oh my god, like a failure or a blunder, and you wonder that do you have decent decision making skills, or are you a person who can actually manage something well. So that is when self doubt comes, and theek hai, wo wala is not what we are discussing today. Okay, it's the other reason typically is when more than one person says something to you over and over again, and then you think, okay, is this really true, and if it is, should I change it? And then you start to apply it in various situations and think, oh, मुझे तब भी ऐसा बोला था, मुझे तब भी वैसे बोला था, and then again self doubt comes, that oh, इतने सारे लोग बोल रहे हैं, तो I must change this. And the best part is that it is regardless of whether it's a good or a bad thing. Okay, I will explain, but self doubt will just come because of these two reasons. Okay, so again repeating: A, because of maybe a blunder you made, or B, because of more than one person telling you something about yourself over and over again. Okay, so how do we minimize this? Now, first, as an example, okay, the example is myself as always, because और किसका example लूँगी मैं, right? So because I also go through self doubt a lot of times. Okay, so as an example, let me tell you what two things we need to kind of remember to minimize this. So the first thing is a trait. Now, interestingly, and this is coming from psychology, okay, so I'm a student right now of psychology, and बहुत सारा ना वहाँ पे learn करने को मिल रहा है, okay, and to apply it directly to minimalism being applied there directly is just awesome. Okay, so one of the things that I studied recently is something called a cardinal trait. Okay, now a cardinal trait essentially is something that is your imprint, it's your blueprint, it's your DNA, it's your genetic. Okay, it's your genetics. वो उसके साथ आप पैदा हुए हो. Okay, वो change नहीं हो सकता, and the sooner you accept it, the better for you, for all the relationships that you have and whatever it is that you're engaged in or engaged with. So of course, how do we get there? I'll get there. How do you identify what cardinal traits are? So that's one. So that is, we are getting to the minimalism or the minimizing of self doubt by number one, identifying cardinal traits in oneself, and the second thing is habits. Okay, बिकॉज इन्हीं दोनों चीज़ों पे ना आपको कॉन्स्टेंटली लोग ना छोड़ेंगे नहीं. ओके, दे कीप सेइंग अरे यू कीप डूइंग दिस, और यू आर दिस, और स्टॉप डूइंग दिस, और व्हाई डू यू डू दिस, ऑल ऑफ दैट कीप्स हैपनिंग, राइट? एंड यू डू दिस, that's why that happens, or because you are this, that's why that happens. It gets to है ना? So habits are, what are habits? Yeah, habits are typically things that you acquire over time, and either you continue with them for a very long time, or you let them go, or they go themselves. Sometimes what happens is that एक blurry line हो जाती है between habit and trait. Okay, so this is where this video might help. Okay, so let's begin with the cardinal trait, and I'll give you my example. My cardinal traits, the few that I've realized हैं तो हैं, क्या करूँ मैं, right? So the first one is being sensitive, very sensitive. Okay, now I realized this about 10 years back, when too many people were making, because there was something going on in my life, so obviously my sensitivity was सबसे ऊपर, right, at the forefront. So उसी को लोग, people were like kind of constantly, you are too sensitive, you are too sensitive होके ये नहीं होगा, sensitive होके वो नहीं होगा. So that time I think all I tried to do for some time was to reduce sensitivity in myself. Okay, and then I realized हो ही नहीं पा रहा, that this is important. Okay, so what you need to do is figure out something, some trait in you which a lot of people have been pointing out, but you're unable to change even though you want to. Okay, so sensitivity for me was one, and that is something that honestly I now think is a massive strength, and I treat it like that, I accept it like that. Sometimes it is a weakness for me because I get hurt very easily, but it's a massive strength for others because I'm sensitive to others, right? Others too. So that brings in a lot of empathy. So that's how I worked around it, accepted it. It's a cardinal trait in me. I cannot change it. So you may want to figure out those, okay? Then another trait that I'm right now realizing is that again more than one person has told me you're too hard on yourself. Okay, so I'm kind of in the place of figuring this one out, and then I always try, and this is something which you may want to do, is when you're talking about a trait, एक बार उस trait को ना निकाल के अपने आप से, like just imagine that what if the trait is not there, then what will you be? And if you can identify with that person in the absence of that trait, well then it's not a trait. Okay, see, getting my point, then it's not a trait. तब तो कुछ है जो आप निकाल सकते हो, तो वो ट्रेट नहीं है, कार्डिनल ट्रेट नहीं है. ओके, सो कमिंग बैक टू द पॉइंट, this whole thing of my being hard on myself, I don't know otherwise, and I don't know what being hard on oneself means, because I feel बचपन में तो सिखाया गया था ना कि जी आपको जी पंक्चुअल होना है, जी डिसिप्लिन होना है, टाइम पे उठना है, ठीक से खाना खाना है, हेल्दी रहना है, एंड यू नो ऑल द गुड, सच बोलना है. तो for me trying to follow that path is where people tell me I'm being hard on myself. So sorry guys, I love doing this, and well, this is not going anywhere. Okay, so I've accepted that about myself. nahi change ho sakta. Yeah, okay, the chill factor goes down sometimes in me. Okay, so that's again something that you may want to सोचो इसके बारे में, like क्या है, उससे होता क्या है, and are you okay with it? So for me, maybe the relax and chill mode maybe slightly lesser, but that's who I am, because when I remove the so-called being hard on yourself wala thing, then I become a very weird person. I do not identify with that person at all. Getting it? Are you getting it? This is how the cardinal trait has to be addressed. Okay, now come the habits. Now see, habits, yeah, habit would be like something again in my case, let's say sleeping in the afternoon is something that I've been doing for donkey years. Okay, it's a habit, and अपने आप को I keep telling stories that मेरा तो फिर first half तब होता है, उसके बाद I sleep, and then मेरा second half होता है. Now let's say somebody tells me that, you know, Kanika, if you want to be more productive, you may want to not sleep in the afternoon or reduce it a little bit. Okay, that I will take. Okay, because that's a habit. You getting it? So that is how how will self-doubt get minimized here? Because once you identify that this is a cardinal trait and this is a habit, so then once you accepted the cardinal traits in yourself, ये मेरे cardinal traits हैं, इनको I can't, they won't go, they're not going to go. So then the next step you do is you accept, you embrace them, and then you work with them, right? So then the next time a person pinpoints, so you will not doubt yourself. It'll be like, yeah, that's who I am, you know, and you will work around it. Are you getting my point? Habit is something, ठीक है यार, if it's not working, you always want to improve and become a better human, right? तो habit नहीं काम कर रही है, 15 लोग बोल रहे हैं जी habit change करो, तो कर लो, ठीक है. The key is to identify the difference between these two, and for the cardinal trait, you need to just accept it and say, okay, that's just who I am, man. Just can't do shit about it. Okay, the habit you may want to change, and that's how you reduce or you minimize self-doubt. Okay guys, hope this was helpful, and I'll see you soon. Bye.